The old house stood on a hill overlooking the town, a skeletal silhouette against the bruised twilight sky. They called it the Blackwood Manor, though no one named Blackwood had lived there for a century. Locals whispered stories, of course, tales of shadows that moved on their own, of a woman's weeping that echoed through the empty halls on moonless nights. But I wasn't a local. I was a skeptic, a paranormal investigator armed with more bravado than sense, looking to debunk the legend. That was my first mistake. My gear felt heavy as I pushed open the groaning front door. The air inside was thick, stagnant, smelling of dust and something else. Something metallic and sweet, like old rust and forgotten decay. My flashlight beam cut through the darkness, dancing over furniture draped in white sheets, ghostly figures frozen in time. I set up my cameras first, positioning them in the main hall, the dusty dining room, and at the bottom of the grand staircase that spiraled up into the oppressive darkness of the second floor. Then, I switched on my audio recorder. "My name is Alex, and I'm at the Blackwood Manor." I spoke into the device, my voice sounding small and fragile in the vast silence. The time is 10:13 p.m. I'm beginning my investigation. For the first hour, nothing happened. The silence was absolute, broken only by the creak of the old house settling and the frantic beating of my own heart. I started to feel foolish, a grown man chasing ghost stories. I decided to explore the upstairs. The first few rooms were unremarkable empty bedrooms, a decaying bathroom with a cracked mirror that threw back a distorted, monstrous version of my own face. It was in the last room at the end of the hall, the master bedroom, that things changed. The air in this room was cold, not just chilly, but a deep, biting cold that seeped into my bones, and the smell was stronger here. In the center of the room sat a single, elegant, rocking chair. As my light fell upon it, it began to move, slowly, rhythmically, back and forth, as if an unseen person had just risen from it. The creak of the wood was a low, mournful sound in the silence. My breath caught in my throat. I raised my camera, hands trembling. Through the viewfinder, I saw it, just for a second. A faint, shimmering outline in the chair, a vaguely human shape that dissipated like smoke as soon as I focused on it. A floorboard creaked behind me. I spun out on my flashlight beam, slashing wildly across the hallway. Nothing. Just empty, suffocating darkness. "Who's there?" I called out, my voice cracking. The only answer was the steady, maddening creak of the rocking chair from the room I'd just fled. I backed away slowly, my eyes scanning the shadows, my ears straining for any sound. That's when I heard it. A whisper. It was faint, seeming to come from all directions at once. A sibilant hiss that slithered into my ear. It sounded like a woman's voice, but distorted, stretched. It sighed my name, Alex. Panic, cold and sharp, pierced through my bravado. This wasn't a draft. This wasn't my imagination. I scrambled back towards the staircase, my boots thudding loudly on the old wood. I had to get out. As I reached the top of the stairs, all the lights on my equipment, my camera, my flashlight, my audio and died at the same instant, plunging me into absolute, terrifying blackness. The only thing I could hear now was the sound of my own ragged breathing and that whisper, closer now, right behind me. I didn't wait. I stumbled down the stairs, blind, my hands outstretched, catching myself on the banister. I missed a step, tumbling the last few feet and landing in a heap on the cold marble floor of the main hall. A sliver of moonlight from a grime-covered window offered the faintest illumination. And in that pale, ghostly light, I saw them. The sheets covering the furniture were no longer still. They were moving, rising and falling, as if invisible bodies were sitting on the chairs, lounging on the sofas. From beneath one of the sheets, a long, pale hand emerged, its fingers unnaturally long and thin, beckoning me closer. A scream tore from my throat. I crawled backward, crab walking towards the front door, my mind screaming, "Get out! Get out! Get out!" The whisper was a chorus now, a symphony of ghostly voices swirling around me, calling my name, laughing a dry, rustling laugh. I reached the door, my fingers fumbling with the heavy iron latch. It wouldn't budge. It was locked. Or held. Then I heard the footsteps, slow, deliberate. Coming down the grand staircase, not the sound of shoes on wood, but a soft, wet, dragging sound. Thump. Drag. Thump. Drag. I didn't dare look. I pulled at the door with all my strength, my knuckles raw, tears of terror streaming down my face. The dragging sound stopped right behind me. The air grew impossibly cold. I could feel a presence looming over me. A weight in the air so heavy it felt like I was at the bottom of the ocean. A cold, damp breath ghosted across the back of my neck, carrying that same sweet, metallic scent of decay. The whisper came again, no longer from the corners of the room, but directly into my ear. A voice that was both a woman's and something ancient, something utterly inhuman. "You're not a skeptic anymore, are you, Alex?" I finally found the strength to turn my head. In the dim moonlight, I saw a face, pale, gaunt, with hollow sockets, where eyes should have been, and a wide, lipless mouth stretched into a silent, eternal scream. My camera on the floor suddenly flickered to life. The small screen showed the front door, wide open to the night. It was a lie. I was still trapped. The screen then changed, showing my own terrified face, but beneath me. The figure was clear, the woman in black. Her long, skeletal fingers reached for my shoulder. The camera recorded it all. It recorded my final scream as the world dissolved into darkness and the whispers consumed me. But on the camera's memory card was one final clip. It shows me, standing in the main hall. My eyes are hollow, so my mouth is open in a silent scream, and I am whispering to the empty room, "Welcome to Blackwood Manor."